Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to yet another daily live stream. I know I threw you guys off. I see that, MK. I did not put my face on the thumbnail today because I frantically made it at the last second and I did not have room to put my face on it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the creativity. What is happening in the crypto market, and should we be buying or should we be selling? The flat out answer, to save everyone a little bit of time, is yes. It's just dependent on what kind of portfolio you're holding on to. If you're in the long-term portfolio, you're going to want to just continue to hold strong and buy the dip. If you're in the trading portfolio, well, you're always probably buying something, even if that is some shorts on the market, which I guess technically is selling. So who knows? Haha, I gotcha. No, honestly, it just depends on everyone's individual strategy, and I have no idea what your strategy is. For the long-term portfolio, like I said, I am holding strong and accumulating as much as I possibly can, although I ran out of money a couple months ago. And for the short-term trading portfolio, things are looking a little rough out there. Things are looking like we're going to have some downward momentum potentially if things do not hold tight or reverse pretty quickly here, because if you come look at the Bitcoin daily chart, we did not hold above the moving averages. We in fact are below them once again. The 200-day moving average, we are below, and all but the 200-day moving average are now facing it down, and I'm a little bit nervous that the 200 is also going to start scooping on the way down. Who knows exactly what's going to happen? We could see tomorrow, all of a sudden, the United States start accumulating Bitcoin like crazy, and the next thing you know, everything has changed, right? You never really know. But welcome in, welcome in. Good morning, MK. Good morning, Stare. Good morning, C90. Good morning, Viralis. Good morning, Derek. Hopefully all of you guys are enjoying this wonderful Fitness Friday. I certainly am. I went and did a full body workout this morning, and I'm feeling ready to go, amped up, and excited to be a market participant. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Don't want to observe. Wallet is in a super position at the moment. Don't want to. I like that. I like that a lot. I love that, actually. Depends on what's going on in any given moment. I could be in the different categories of wealth, and until I look at it, I don't actually know. And so if I don't ever look at it, I exist in all categories of wealth at the same time. Right? Yeah, that makes sense. Good morning, Ty. Good morning. Let's go ahead. I'm going to change this to the live chat so I don't miss out on anything that's coming through. I want to take a look at, before we actually look at some of the interesting things going on in the market right now, and I don't have a ton of stuff to bring up. I do want to talk about BID again, of course. I want to talk about Hempy. We're going to talk about these two projects that I'm not sure many of you guys are paying super close attention to. They're not DeSci, and so I'm sorry for that, but they are projects that I have been following for a long time, and I think they're both at some really killer deals right now, so I want to share them with you. One I've shared before, the other I have not. So we'll talk about both of them in a little bit of time. I almost said my ending quote there, but I want to scan through the market again really quick and just see. So Dow is getting rejected by the 200-day moving average right now, although it is showing a little bit of support here. It is early into the day, so who knows how this candle is actually going to close, but it is currently getting rejected. The Qs didn't even make it up to test the 200-day moving average and are getting rejected, which is interesting because it's showing a lot of signs of weakness in the tech industry, or the high growth industry, which is tech, in the stock market, and it looks like this 20-day moving average is likely going to come down and kiss those wicks on the way down. S&P, of course, looks like a merge between the Dow and the S&P. Not many people really care too much about the Dow, so we really should only be focused on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, but of course I want to show it to all of you guys. And then for the bond market, we're looking at the same range that we've been in the whole time. However, this structure is maintaining pretty strong. It is absolutely maintaining some strength here, this upward trajectory on TLT, which would mean a decrease in the yield on bonds, i.e. the functional interest rate for the economy, is continuing to slowly trickle down really ever since Trump took office. As soon as Trump took office, we started seeing the lowering of the rates, the functional rates, not the Fed Reserve rates, but the actual functional rates that impact the economy, right? Yeah, Derek. Mods, get him out of the chat. Get him out of the chat. He put an egg and an eggplant. I don't know which one he's referring to. Bouncing off the 169-day moving average, though. Eggplant. It is interesting. It is interesting. I don't have that moving average pulled up on it. Where's Bitcoin? There it is. I don't have that moving average pulled up on it, but I feel like that's not, there's no way, because the 200-day moving average, well, let's just go ahead and, we can go change this, actually. We can go change this to the 169-day. Yeah, see, definitely not getting a bounce on the 169-day. I don't know what it is you're talking about, but that's okay. I'll believe it. And that's bullish then. No, it's tricky right now because things are curling over. Things are looking like they're gonna, like I just said, things are looking like they're about to fall off a little bit of a cliff here and at least come back down and retest these lows, which actually would correspond with the liquidity in the market. If we remember the chart from yesterday, shout out everyone who was here yesterday. Good morning, Spec. Good morning, 2Reader. If we actually go back and look at everything that we talked about yesterday with the liquidity in the markets and how it bounced and then went back down, retested the same lows, and then set new highs, it is possible that that's what's going to happen here. And we get Bitcoin to follow that, come down, bounce off the lows, and then start putting in those incremental highs. Because the M2 currently is breaking out. It's just not looking like it's going to translate over to Bitcoin until probably end of May, early June, when we would start testing new all-time highs again. We will have to wait and see. But it would indicate that we're close to a local bottom. I just am tempted to say that we are going to have one more leg down. And if there's anything in the crypto markets that I am confident in, it's that when we do those leg downs, we will have a wick that liquidates everyone who has their stop losses underneath the prior low, right? That makes sense to you guys? Every time that happens, we always seem to get some wicks that liquidate people. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it next week or the next 2 weeks to see Bitcoin test somewhere around $75,000, which maybe it goes down and tests the high from the previous range, right? I'm just theorizing here with you guys for a second to see, because it does look like the structure is indicating that we are going to come down, and I would feel as if it makes sense to liquidate some people with their stop losses set at the prior high or something like that, right? They don't want to ride the market if we go below the previous high, and so the market makers would send it, just kind of like grab their liquidity and then keep going. We are obviously not selling our long-term bags over this kind of stuff because I'm imagining, all believe we still have that next leg up, that final leg in the market come the end of the year. I think we can all agree on that. It's just a matter of when we start to see the reversal. And right now, we do not see any signs of reversal. And I'm sorry to say it. I thought we were going to get it here, but we did not end up getting it. Obviously, I would love to eat my words and wake up tomorrow with Bitcoin chilling up at like 88,000 or something like that. I would love to see that, and I would gladly be proven wrong by the markets. But right now, just from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. As far as Ethereum is concerned, we got rejected again off the same 20-day moving average that we've been continuously getting rejected off of this entire correction in the market, which I would say is honestly a pretty brutal crash. That's a 60% decrease in Ethereum, which is the second largest project. That is atrocious. That is an aggressive sell-off. And it has been absolutely decimating all of our bags just because everything that we hold in DeSci, at least, is a derivative of Ethereum in that regard, right? It's built on top of Ethereum, so you can kind of treat it like a leveraged move on narratives within Ethereum, which we've talked about. You guys understand that concept. It is something that we've all talked about ad nauseum. Not any of you guys are probably shocked by that kind of move. Yeah. This was not foreseen, that is for sure. Did not expect us to break here, but here we have. Do you trade meme coins? No. I do not like losing money on scams. That is not my forte. I do not enjoy that. I have, and I've made money, and I've lost more than I've made. So I just stay away from them and stick to the stuff that I have made money on, right? In my history throughout investing, I've made really good returns on fundamentals. And so every time I've driven away from that and start doing speculative gambles on meme coins or leverage trading or just any of that kind of stuff, I end up getting cooked. And so rather than just try and make it work, I'm just going to stick to the stuff that I know does work. But yeah, bears stand up before attack, bulls crouch down before they attack. Ah, are you insinuating that because I've been standing at my standing desk now that I should in fact go crouch down? I won't even get my chair, I'm just going to crouch. Bearish stream. Mods! Was looking for that investor stream, found Peter Schiff instead. Well, I mean, if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna say that, let's go ahead and just acknowledge a bear for a bear. No, not this. Come on, GC, give me the gold. I don't. There we go. Let's just go ahead and acknowledge a bear for a bear. Which would you have rather been in over the last 6 months? Ethereum or gold? Let's go back 6 months. Oh, that's a whole year. Let's go back 6 months, back here. Which would you have rather been in, Ethereum or gold? Gold's up 20% in 6 months, give or take a percent, because my cursor's a little bit... No, please, guys, come back. Ah. All right, I know how to fix this. So Ethereum is looking incredibly bullish right here. If you actually look at this, we just formed what looks like a double bottom here on the daily chart for Ethereum, and we have broken back above the previous resistance here. You can actually even see we've seen a structural change in the chart where we were making systematic lower highs and we were making systematic lower lows, and all of a sudden we've broken out from this resistance level and we are seeing a pretty clear change here, right? Where we just printed a higher high. What I would imagine here, if we were to look at this chart, I would imagine that we come back down and test this resistance again before then continuing on our path up and to the right. So we will see what takes place, but it does look like we are finding a bottom, you know, finally. I mean, it's been just a constant bleed down. I wouldn't expect this, based off this chart, I wouldn't expect, if you can zoom out a little bit for this pattern to really change fundamentally, just based off how aggressively it has sold off over the lifespan of this asset, right? It just is systematically putting in lower lows. And so even if we do get that bounce and that break, I wouldn't expect us to even come close to retesting these highs before we hit that resistance and start trending back down again, and then probably breaking down and putting in a very aggressive new low. Not sure exactly how far we could go, but based off last time, we saw a 5,000% move, and so I wouldn't be that surprised if this time we saw maybe like half of that and saw a 2,500% move, which would put us at $23,000. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Oh my God. It's actually kind of scary how bullish the inverted chart on Ethereum looks on a daily time frame. But the weekly chart, on the other hand, does look very different. And now I have all these drawings that I need to get rid of, but I don't know that I can. I'll go through them all individually later. Double bottom, buy gold and silver. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm going to take a sip of my water here. I'm not even going to look at Solana. Solana looks rough. Solana looks like it is having a rough time. But it is back in, one thing that Solana has going for it right now is it is back in that range of accumulation. It's back in that area of congestion. You know, what's good, Johnny? I haven't seen your name pop up in a minute. It's back in that area of congestion on Solana. So we're having a full-scale war right now between the bulls and the bears on Solana. I would tend to believe that this will hold and we will see the bulls win. But we are in the middle of a war zone, so it makes sense that We're not seeing crazy swings in price just because nobody has super high conviction on the direction. But this is such a large scale sell-off that I would expect some sort of a relief rally here in the immediate term. My light is aggressively moving right now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and showcase the two projects that I talked about earlier today in the live stream that I said I would cover here for you guys. The first one I know you guys have heard me talk about before. It is the Kaito, Kaito AI. It is the company or the product that has made that mindshare map. You guys have seen this before, where they get to actually see where the attention is in the crypto market, on X at least, right? I think the product is really fascinating, and it is clear that when people are excited about crypto, they are very excited to share that mind map stuff, these graphs. It is a very savvy product that gets shared intrinsically. That is something that I'm really a big fan of, that organic virality built into a product. And so they have a token, and I am feeling bullish on that token. If we go to it, it is Kaito, I believe. Yeah, it is a $300 million market cap right now, so it is much larger than things we normally will talk about on this page, but the chart is looking like the standard pop, drop, and lock it chart. I'm thinking that we find a bottom on this thing pretty soon, and it would be a good spot to enter. Now, of course, you guys know I got that airdrop for just being someone who makes content online, right? The yaps that people were farming for that period of time. I think I got like 800 Kaito tokens, so it's like $1,000 airdrop, which was pretty cool. I staked all of it, and I'm just hanging on to it because I do see a lot of potential for this project to be one of the top projects in the industry just because of that virality, at least for this cycle. I don't know how it'll play out over the long term, but I think it is a stable one that people, unless it's one of those VC farms that just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and bleeds, I think it'll do pretty good and hopefully find some sort of a bottom. The other project, which I think you guys will be much more excited to hear about, it is a project with a sub $2 million market cap. Okay, so back more into our micro cap gems. I have not talked about it before, I don't think. I might have mentioned it here or there, but I've not talked about wanting to open a position into it before. And we have 7 likes, 15 viewers. So if we get up to 10 likes, I will share it with you. If we do not get up to 10 likes, I will not share it with you because I'm in that kind of mood right now. In the meantime, while you guys are ramping up those likes on the live stream, remember that we go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. Today is Fitness Friday, and I am dangling a carrot on a stick over everyone's head for that like. While we wait on that, I would like to highlight how Derrico here responded to a viral-esque post about Axon. Love to see Cryptos R Us on the DeSci train. This is the future of science, and I'm all in. Let's keep the momentum going. We got Cryptos R Us. Imagine a world where scientists receive funding directly from those who believe in their work. Axon DAO aims to achieve this and more. It's cool to see some of the large influencers start to pay close attention to decentralized science yet again. I remember very aggressively shilling DeSci to George when we were at the, shit, I forget the name of the event. He was sponsoring an event that I went to with Josh and Lucas, and we all went out to dinner, and when I got the chance to be talking with him a little bit and interacting with him when he wasn't busy hosting the event, I was DeSci shilling him, and so I'm glad to see that Axon has successfully landed him as a KOL. It is really cool to see that he is now, or at least their channel is now, talking about decentralized science, even if just a little bit. Hadn't checked in Hack in a while, don't recommend you do. RIP, sad. H4CK, really good project in the making, and unfortunately, it is down dramatically. All AI agents are down unimaginably. Okay, some of us are driving, but still liking. Bullish. I love that C90. We'll look at hack in a second. Hempy/hacker. Okay. I see that we hit the 10 likes, so I will go ahead and show it to you guys. It is called Proto KOLs. I don't know that I've talked about it too much to you guys before, but I know that I've been paying attention to it for the last like 3 months or so, maybe even a little bit longer at this point. I think it is a really, really interesting product in the market that would make sense for people to actually use in the long term. Their goal here is to shed light on the KOL industry, see who actually has influence, who actually is worth paying for those KOL rounds, and it's a tool that a lot of projects I envision will use when orchestrating those KOL rounds, right? And so they are a very, very, very small market cap right now. Protocol. It's a $1.4 million market cap. It had its initial launch. I was watching it and then it popped off without me and I was like, God damn it. I didn't end up buying it and now it's back down to that initial floor price, which means I'm fairly excited about it again. It's super, super small market cap, so it's going to be volatile, but I do think it's got a lot of potential here. If we come look at their actual website, you can see they've created a dashboard that is free to use that does exactly what it's saying. So you have the KOL searchers, right? So I already searched for myself. Let's go ahead and look at my own breakdown for it, right? We have my account on X. I am in the top 0.8% of notable followers. Hell yeah, for being in the top 1%. 8.7K followers, 78 notable followers. So these are other KOLs, founders, VCs that follow me. I got 78, which is pretty cool to see. Notable engagement, only 5 in the last 30 days. I've not really been posting a lot, so I'm not surprised by that. My engagement rate is garbage, but again, I'm not surprised by this. I've not been posting much at all. My engagement rate usually hovers around 5%. Average views, pretty low. You can see the content style, right? So memes versus fundamentals, way stronger into the fundamentals. My shit poster, I'm a no bullshit poster, although my thing is really close to the shit poster. No, I'm 100% no bullshit. I am 75% fundamentals, and I am an 80% long-term supporter. You can go see different calls and the timelines and the types, like the scale of coins that I'll call, micro caps, low caps, mid caps, right? It really gives a big scale breakdown. Now, they don't capture everything. They absolutely do not capture everything that we've called here on the channel. So it's not a 100% perfect product, but you guys see the idea here. And I think it is really, really fruitful for people to use, right? This is something that would be spread pretty rapidly. Now, I don't see KOLs talking about it because they're likely going to shed light on stuff that's not really worth it, right? They're going to be shedding light on how they're not super consistent. What's good, Zach? I would like the mods to remove him from the X stream. How do we help engagement? Just engaging with everything I talk about. But unfortunately, I've not been posting a ton. When I post videos on X, they get really high engagement and it boosts all of my rate and everyone likes those. But when I'm not, I don't get that same level of engagement. And I'm not going to ask you guys to just go like everything that I post, because if it's shit, I don't want you to like it so I can know what's shit and not do it again. But I've just been so focused on building Bill that I've not spent any real time building out my content. And I'm seeing the likes go down, so apparently you guys don't like this microcap. I'm telling you right now, it's going to 10x. I think it 10x's very easily. If you guys don't like 10x's, then don't purchase it. I think it's got a lot of potential to go even higher than that, but I think it's got an easy 10x in it without even batting an eye. You can see the unique calls. 24 hours after I call, it usually goes down 10%. A week after, it's usually up 17%. 30 days after, it's usually up 450%. And to date, my average call is up 239%, which is pretty damn cool, in my opinion, right? They did not take RIF and Euro, which would have just skewed these results so unimaginably dramatically. But either way, I love this. I'm a fan of it. I am a fan. And then they have the breakdown of who's following me. So I got Thread Guy, Andrew Kang, Maru Nafal, Ignis, Tyler D, Kevin, Zach, Minion, Simon, Doc, Maskey. It's really cool. Really just a cool product, and it's so damn cheap. I think it's going to be a cook. But obviously, I don't know anything, and I actually have not even opened a position in it yet. It's on ETH. I have not actually opened a position, so just bear that in mind. It's just something that I tuned in with again yesterday when I was checking the markets, and I think it is at a really good entry price if I am to open up a position on it again. H4CK. Oh my god. $170,000 market cap is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Do not tell Amanda. Do not bring this up to Amanda. Do you understand me? She scooped a big bag of it on day one, but I think right in this zone right here. Was up 500% on it at the peak and is now down, oh my god, 100%. Is now down basically 99%. That is so sad. That is so sad. Do not tell her. There's a reason we haven't seen her much. She cannot handle this volatility. But we've all seen crypto before. We all know all it takes is one viral post to make this go from 170,000 to a $20 million market cap. I bought after Amanda recommended it. Yeah. I mean, it's a really good looking thing, honestly. It's just very much so in the realm of AI agents, and they all got decimated. Absolutely decimated. Eek. Eek, eek, eek. My spine. She's really good at noticing attention, Amanda is. Really good at noticing where the attention has gone and executing on it rapidly. It's the exit that needs some strategy development still. It's noticing when attention is shifting. You know, that's the hard part. That is the hard part, and I think that's the hard part for all of us, right? But I don't know that many people out there were expecting the altcoin reckoning. Like if we go look at Bitcoin dominance, which by the way did just have several daily closes now below this trend line that it had been riding. So we finally broke below this trend line that we've been riding since December. So all year dominance has been riding this trend line higher. We finally broke below it, and it looks like we are going to forget that trend line and move on past it. But after this giant move downwards in altcoin dominance, or in Bitcoin dominance here, I don't think many people were fully expecting this reckoning day that happened back in February. I don't think anyone was really planning for that. It did look very much so like we were ending the march upwards. But of course, this is crypto and everyone gets wrecked occasionally, so be it, you know? I know, this has been a little bit too bearish of a stream for me. You guys want to change the subject a little bit and get on to some exciting things? Bring it up, though, because I don't have any of the exciting things to necessarily discuss with all of you guys. I don't have a ton of stuff. Hey, let's go, Spec. I don't have a ton of stuff planned, actually. We already went over all of it. Nobody expected the Trump liquidity poll. Exactly. That really is what destroyed stuff. I don't even know that it was totally Trump, but more so Melania coin, which is the same people, so it doesn't matter. But this decimated the market. Everyone flooded into it, made some money, and then they just did a liquidity rug. Everything just rugged for billions of dollars. Billions of dollars were evaporated off of the market. And after that, everyone just flocked into Bitcoin. You know? Egyptians, JFK. We can talk about that. Do you guys want to talk about something totally off of crypto? We can, right? To do a little bit of a room reset, even though all of you guys have already been here the whole time. Should you buy, should you sell? Depends on what portfolio you're talking about. The long-term investment portfolio right now is probably the greatest time that we've had in a very long time to be scooping up some really discounted, solid, fundamental projects. Like these times come once a year or so in the crypto market where we get some of these reckonings and we'll get some really disgustingly undervalued, fundamentally strong projects. They come about once a year, and right now is one of those opportunities to really enter into, with some size if you have any, some of these fundamentally strong projects that you can hold on to for a good period of time. As far as the trading portfolio, we are in a high period of volatility and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. The charts are looking like we're going to get a retest of the lows on Bitcoin here, but who really knows, right? Who really knows? So it just depends on your time frame. Most of you guys are likely the long-term folk, and so I would like to say it is a really good time out there to be accumulating some of these projects. But I digress. So, let's see what the DeSci SHILLERS list has been talking about. Alright, biohacker. Why do you guys post the most ridiculous things? Internet of Dongs project. Okay, also. I don't know what's going on. The current state of DeSci is in shambles, apparently. Oh. Community Town Hall. They started at 9 p.m. Pacific, or 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that was an hour ago, just about. They were in their Discord, likely talking about Hempy. Let's go look at Hempy. Any price changes? A little bit of price action on Hempy, but I think that's from yesterday. Yeah, a little bit of money flowed into Hempy. It's really, I've talked about Hempy ad nauseum, so you guys know I'm super bullish on it. And then we got Molecule talking about timestamp, quick start to registering your proof of invention, which is their new iteration on, I actually don't remember. I read the whole article on it. I don't remember, but it was one of their newest products to try and expand outwards the proof of invention. Let's look. Oh yeah, they give credit where credit is due for stuff. So if you played a role in inventing something, you get to actually maintain that credit as the inventor, the inventor. Really cool. They're building out, if you see what they're doing here, Molecule's really building out this whole ecosystem to be able to accelerate the scientific efforts, right? So retroactive funding is something that many of you guys have probably heard me talk about in the past. It's something that Vitalik has highlighted several times, and I think it is a really, really smart and equitable system to implement into DeSci and the world as a whole. It's the idea that if you played a role in an invention, but let's say that your discovery, let's say you discovered this new novel therapy or this new novel compound, right? And you put it out there and you use the proof of invention to prove that your thought process invented this. And then 5 years later or 10 years later or 3 months later, somebody takes that, builds upon it, creates a therapy, you can still receive funding retroactively for your contribution to that therapy. And this is one of those things that would lay the foundation for that. And so if you really see what they're doing, if you go read the early article from Vitalik about decentralized science, one of the first ones, you'll see him talking about it, and you can see that Molecule's game plan seems to really be focused in on making all of his thoughts come to reality, which is really cool. I think it's really, really smart of them. I don't know that I'll be able to see it. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to find it immediately. It was from several years ago. Oh well. It's okay. Is okay. There was something else I was going to talk about. It's a fun one to watch. British conspiracy guy who thinks the royals are lizard people. Absolutely hilarious. It is hilarious. But you guys know You guys know Default? He's working with Lucas on Apollo Algo and Jeepbot. He went to jail for hacking a bunch of federal agencies, right? He went to jail for several years, actually. And he recently got off probation. He's an interesting dude, really, really smart. And he hacked into the CIA. He also deleted a bunch of student debt. He also read a bunch of classified documentation when he did hack into the CIA and a bunch of the government agencies. And he read classified documents that led him to the conclusion that there are lizard people in charge of some of the government. He also read some mind control stuff, and he read some alien stuff and the Anunnaki people and all of that kind of stuff. Real documentation that is classified. The weather manipulation technology, all of it. He is very much convinced. And I mean, just like everyone who learns about it, he just wants to go make a bunch of money and live on a farm alone from everyone else. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He just wants to be away from it all. But crazy. What's Default think about JFK? I've not talked to him about it before. I have to check him out now. He's an interesting guy for sure. He's a really good trader too. Really good trader. Well, everyone's distracted to see Jupiter Exchange shipping like crazy. Maintain that they will build probably the best DEX platform in crypto. You guys know I'm super bullish on Jupiter. Super bullish on Jupiter. Is he long on Fartcoin right now? That's funny. That's funny. They release the Epstein files. Hurry up. Release some conspiracy shit to distract them. The pyramids. Exactly. He and I think a lot alike in that regard. We have a different approach to a lot of other stuff, though. Good morning, Beagle. Good morning, Zaj. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You guys are late. You guys are tuning in for the final innings of the live stream, but I respect it. Thank you for being here on this glorious Fitness Friday. Make sure you guys are paying attention to your health, because what's the point of making all this money if you're not actually going to be around to use any of it? Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into the JFK stuff though, because you know what? I'll do it. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it here. I'm gonna risk it, okay? Let me see. I know I saved the post. Here is my take on the JFK files. And there you have it. Take that off really quick before I get demonetized. Go ahead and take my sip of water. Damn time zone changed. I know, I'm sorry, Zaj. I'm sorry. It's daylight savings time. I mean, hopefully we can get Trump to get rid of daylight savings time. That would be the most ideal case scenario, if Trump would just abolish daylight savings and we wouldn't have these stupid time changes. But unfortunately, we do have these time changes. Unfortunately. Ned Flanders, interesting take. Yeah, well, I saw it, I thought it was hilarious, and so I saved it. Sometimes it is hilarious, sometimes it is unfortunate, but... And go back to who created the Fed. C90? No, I will get completely demonetized if we go down this rabbit hole. Who is this person? It's Paula, but who is that? See, this is how I know that there's nothing much happening in the crypto market right now, is when my timeline is focused on this kind of stuff. When I scroll on my timeline and it's videos like this, I know that nothing really is happening in crypto. You know? Oh, that's funny. Breaking. President Trump says April 2nd is going to be the Liberation Day for America after being ripped off by every country in the world. April 2nd is when a variety of reciprocal U.S. tariffs officially go live. True. True that. Yeah, not much happening in the crypto world. Nothing happening when everyone is down 90% plus. I agree. Simon Dixon went down the rabbit hole for you, lol. He had a thread on it. I know. I mean, well, I don't know who Simon Dixon is, but I know that a lot of people do. I will direct you guys to a person that I think you should go pay attention to if you want to go down that rabbit hole. I will not go down the rabbit hole with you, but go to Ian Carroll. He is a goated influencer, first of all. Really good at researching and storytelling, and he is someone that you should go down that rabbit hole with. It is very fascinating. He was just on Joe Rogan's podcast, so if you guys haven't seen it, it's a really interesting watch. Can you chat on Monday or this weekend? Yeah, we can chat, of course, Spec. Anything for you. You know, I'm not talking with anyone else, basically. I'm just working. You are the only person that I've been taking calls with, and it's just been once a week. Or even every other week. I watched a video, yeah, we're getting way down the rabbit hole of nonsense here, but I watched a video on TikTok yesterday about someone making red dye 40 at home, and it was super fascinating to me because the main ingredient, the starting ingredient, you take a byproduct from petroleum waste and you mix it with acetone and you start making red dye 40. Red dye 40 being one of the main food ingredients for coloring additives, which is just disgusting. Anytime you're eating a red product, you're likely consuming red dye 40, and it literally is a byproduct of petroleum and acetone. How was the call with Don about Bill? It was good. It was good. We did not actually end up talking about the post from Bill about endorsing himself, so I should actually go message him about that. I forgot about that. But we had a good talk. He has been doing a wonderful job, and I have been taking all of the examples that have been crafted for Bill's engagement and everything, and feeding it into the LLM so that it can be trained in a more accurate way. Something that was interesting to me, okay, and although, you know, it really doesn't matter. We're in the middle of a bear market. Nothing I say is going to move the price at all. But one thing that I saw was interesting was when we were on the old model for Bill was not embedding any of his training data, at least not to the extent that we believed he was. And so I'm having to go rework a lot of that stuff. And it's been a lot of fun, and I'm seeing some crazy good progress now that I'm the one doing it. But a lot of the stuff, he, like, you know when you would chat with him, and you would chat and be like, hey, what is a really cool thing that's happening in DeSci? And he'd be like, VitaDAO, Molecule, and LabDAO are making the waves in Decentralized Science. It's because that was like his initial training data, and he was not taking and iterating or learning on the conversations he was having. Not with 100% accuracy. Some of the stuff was being implemented and being trained on, but a majority of it was not. And so I had to really go back and figure out why, and then make those changes. And so we made those changes, and now he's starting to learn. But it's really cool. I went down too many rabbit holes. Bill should do a vote for using the treasury to buy bid so he'll move up into the top 9. I vote yes. Let's watch Bill go up. Bullish, Spec. I also vote yes. I think it'd be advantageous. It is a little bit of a tricky situation. It is. Because the last vote we had was to use it to buy back his own token, and apparently he stopped doing that after a little while. And then the other idea that was floating was to use it to pay developers and to get him quicker training and everything. And then now we've gotten we want him to use the money for bid, which I do think is a good idea. Getting him on, especially if when Creator Bid gets that Binance listing, I think it's going to be really, really bullish if he's an endorsed agent. And so we gotta get it. Stare saying retweet spec, hell yeah. Went down too many rabbit holes, says C90, and now I'm convinced all animal products give you instant cancer and inflammation. I blended 1 pound of spinach and greens for my rabbit hole lunch. Here's a little thing that I learned from nutrition class. Let's go, Wild Africa. Welcome. Hell yeah. A little piece of information that I learned from nutrition. Eventually it's your veto call, Pat. Well, I don't want it to be my veto call, though. I want the community to do it. But the thing that I learned from nutrition is that all food increases the likelihood of mutation in your body. And so the best way to fight cancer is to not eat anything. But that is also the fastest way to kill yourself, is to just not, well, all right, hold on. Not the fastest way to do it, but like, if you don't eat anything, you will die. And if you eat food, you will also die. So there is no way out of it right now. Even things like spinach and healthy greens, all of those things are really good for not getting cancer, but carciferous green vegetation, like leafy greens, kales, spinach, lettuce, all that kind of stuff, holds on to heavy toxins and heavy metals from the dirt. It's like a little a lot of that stuff acts as filters for the dirt. And so by eating an excessive amount of green leafy vegetation, while it is considered like the superfoods of the world, you're also getting heavy metals and a lot of toxins and stuff. And so your body can usually handle it, but it is, if you eat too much of it, it's not good. So it's really actually crazy out there to see that your diet is both what's keeping you alive and what is slowly killing you. So it's just fascinating. The whole thing is super fascinating, and it's crazy to me because we don't have a lot of research on it yet. We really don't. Nutrition is something that has been under-researched, underfunded. Maybe we need to do Nutrition DAO. Food DAO. Ticker food. All right, we'll add it to the list of projects. We have Bill taking the crown, number 1. AI agents, right? Bill, first one that we have. And then we're going to do Cow DAO. And then we're going to list some compounds on Pump Science. And then we'll do Food DAO. I think the whole community, what's left of it, would back using the treasury, and voting is slow. True. I saw Dr. Brooke Goldnard disprove the metals in a research paper. Have to dig it up. Interesting. I would love to take a look at it, C90, for sure. I also don't want to go vegan though. One thing that I think everyone should watch, if you want to know the truth about diet and stuff like that, it's not necessarily diet. It's actually got nothing to do with diet, I'm sorry. But a documentary that I watched called Seaspiracy, a Netflix original. If you want to never eat seafood again, you should go watch this. If you want to never eat seafood again, you should go watch Seaspiracy. %70 of macroplastics at sea come from fishing gear. Let's look at it. Fishing has wiped out 90% of the world's large fish population. Industrial fishing is the greatest threat to marine wildlife. 300,000 dolphins, whales, and porpoises are killed by fishing operations per year. Fishing kills 30,000 sharks every hour. Long line boats set enough fishing line in one day to wrap the earth 500 times. 70% of the microplastics at sea come from fishing gear. Plastic straws only comprise 0.03% of plastics entering the ocean. Bottom trawling releases as much carbon as air travel. That's when they scrape the giant net on the bottom of the ocean to catch all the fish. They destroy everything on the bottom, which is like very, very densely packed forests. Then we have 24,000 fisheries workers die on the job per year. $35 billion in subsidies is given to the fishing industry every year because it is a non-profitable industry. Without these subsidiaries, we would not have the fishing industry. It is not profitable for them to fish because 90% of the fish are gone. Foreign fishing in West Africa contributed to the Ebola epidemic, which was very interesting. It was very, very interesting because what ended up happening is that these West African these West African civilizations where the entire population relies on fish for food because the boats have had to go, the commercial fishermen have had to go into their waters to get fish because they overfished the other areas. Now those people are having to not fish in the waters anymore and go inland and eat the creatures that are inland. And what's happening is it's causing them to go and get a bunch of like monkeys, because that's what some of the stuff that they're eating, having to go get the wildlife there, put them in little pens, and that is aiding or increasing the odds of disease transmission. It's pretty crazy to see, though, that the Ebola epidemic that happened was because of commercial fishermen going in, and then the people having to go in and find different sources of food. And then widespread forced labor in the seafood trade is reported in 47 countries, like slaves, literal slaves. They trick people into getting on the boats, and then they're slaves on those boats because you can't get off of them. And if you try and revolt, they just throw you off the edge. And they're like, no, he just tripped and fell off the edge. It's crazy. You guys should go watch this if you want to. If you want to never eat seafood again, you should go watch it. Like, they went into the conspiracy. It was not even a conspiracy, though. It was proven. But the people behind pushing the narrative that every individual person needs to maintain their amount of plastic, single-use plastic, like the whole plastic straw campaign that happened that got everyone afraid, was started and perpetrated, or whatever, propelled, whatever the word is, continued and enforced and encouraged and spread by the same companies that own the commercial fishing vehicles. Despite 70% of the plastic in the ocean coming from these fishing gear stuff, they diverted everyone's attention away from them into these little plastic straws that don't actually do any real harm to the sea marine creatures. But there's my soapbox petition here for everyone. I've not eaten seafood since watching that, and I don't like that because I loved seafood. But I already don't eat seafood, it's fishy. Haha. LOL, that's so funny. Did you watch Cowspiracy as well? Is that a real thing? Oh my god. Okay. I found a new one I'm gonna watch. That is crazy. As it turns out, guys, most of the land in the world is farmland because we need more food than we can possibly consume as humans. So most of the land in the world is already farmland, if it can be. I bet the company or industry funnels back up to a cloth child. It was actually Dannon. It was Dannon. Dannon is the company that is responsible for a lot of this. Dannon is the company that received a lot of the blame from Seaspiracy for being that corrupt organization. They know we're talking about them. I can't go on their website now, apparently. Dannon. Interesting. It always traces back to BlackRock, doesn't it, guys? Doesn't it always? We will end on this one note. Index funds are the reason the world is falling apart. If you know, you know. Time is your most valuable asset. It's Fitness Friday, so I want to make sure everyone takes care of themselves. Do what you can to prolong your life, man. I will see you guys in Monday's live stream and in the chats. I'll be floating around in the chats. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.